I firmly believe that the right book can change your entire world. It can solve some of your burning pains, your burning problems, maybe not all of them, but some of them, and it can revolutionize your business and your life and your happiness, a lot of things. Now, the big issue is finding those books. There's a lot of incredible books, but they're oftentimes buried amongst a whole pile of crappy books filled with fluff. So how do you navigate this world? How do you figure it out? Well, that's one objective of this channel. It is to help curate these books and bring out some of the best books. If you are really interested in becoming a chef and you think that there's no money in cooking and there's no money in food, and you don't know how to become a chef when you don't have connections or anything like that, how are you supposed to build a restaurant? How are you supposed to get money to fund that? How do you become a 5-star chef when you're a nobody right now? Well, guess what? There's a book of a guy who pretty much did just that and teaches a lot of life lessons in that. Let's say you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to start your own business and you're a girly girl. Well, there's this great book by Sophia Amoruso called #GirlBoss that's about that. This was a girl who never in her wildest dreams would have thought she was an entrepreneur or would start a business. This was a girl who didn't want to do anything for a living and dumpster dived for food. Let's say you want to get into social media and you're very into things like Twitter and Instagram, but you want to find a job in this, but it feels like it's so tough and you don't have connections and you don't have those skills, and you majored in an area entirely separate from that. Guess what? Eliza Leet, in her book Leave Your Mark, was in that specific situation, and she tells you her story and she gives you her advice on that. There's plenty of books out there for all sorts of topics. Let's say you have incredible problems saying no and you always don't have enough time in the day and you're doing all sorts of stuff and there's problems with prioritization, or there's this great book called Essentialism that just revolutionizes your way of thinking on that. I had already consumed a lot of time management books and I thought I understood the concepts, but understanding them and actually applying them and understanding the deep levels of how to figure that out, I think the book does a great job of laying out the foundation. So if that's what you're worried about, that's where you should start. And I could go on and on. Let's say you have an audience on the internet, a following, or you have some type of blog or business where there's a following, but things aren't working out. You can't monetize that, or you're trying to figure out how to monetize that properly, and you have a feeling that you don't know exactly what the problems and pains and issues of an audience are that you can solve. You think you know, but you think that what you think is wrong. Well, there's this great book by Ryan Levesque called Ask that may be able to help you. Now, some of these books I mentioned, they are not the end-all be-all. I have my personal opinions on them. They're not the best things in the world in certain ways in those areas, but it's definitely progress. And some of these books will just blow your mind. And the point of this is to show you that there are books out there that can change your world. And on top of picking and finding the right books, it's deciding what order you read them. There's plenty of books out there that could change my world in the future, but not right now. I would be wasting time and not doing it properly if I read them right now. And you have to realize that and realize the sacrifice and opportunity cost if you read the wrong book. So for instance, there's a lot of books on macroeconomics and business and pricing that really, if you understood it, it could really make you 3 or 4 or 5 times more money in your business or whatever else. But it's like, if you don't have a business, that's not going to help. I may know that this will really revolutionize your world because guess what? Most people, most small businesses, they're just like running around with their heads chopped off pretty much, like doing whatever they can, just pulling out a price out of thin air and just saying like that's probably the right price to price this product and screwing themselves over. So I know that like there's tremendous room for potential because there are literally like experienced business people and tons of scientific studies done, all bottled into a $5 book that can revolutionize your world in this one department. But it wouldn't be the right book for me to read right now. Let's say my priorities or my goals in life aren't necessarily in those sorts of areas. It would be, again, a horrible waste of time to read that, at least for now. Maybe later in life when I need that, I can. And let's say you want to travel, or you want to figure out how to travel when you don't make a lot of money, and how you can go to exotic places without spending that much. Well, guess what? There's tons of books about that. There's tons of blogs and videos on that too. So there's all these different things, and it can really just revolutionize your world if you know what's out there. And what I found is that the deeper you dive into this, the deeper you dive into and research books, the more that you find that there's even more books out there. And the deeper you go, the more you realize how vast this universe is. So I don't claim to be an expert on this. I would say I have a maybe deeper knowledge than the average person. So I want to give you guys a free little bonus. So leave a comment below this video, and I will pick out one winner and pretty much give him a book recommendation, him or her. So leave your problems, your concerns, what you want a solution to, and I'll pick one winner to give a book recommendation based off your background, your experiences, your interests, and where you're headed. Keep this comment under 500 words. I don't want a 10,000 word essay. And I will do my best to give you a book recommendation based off how you are right now. And even if you don't win this contest, I will come back to this video every now and then, and if you're lucky enough, I will choose you and I'll give a recommendation for where you're headed. Now, I again don't have an extensive collection, which pretty much, I mean, it's incredible because I do think that I could help out a tremendous amount of people, but at the same time, that also means there's even more books out there that are unexplored, that most people don't realize.